What's up? How you doing? Here we are. LA is on fire right now as we speak. Every day I get up 6 o'clock in the morning, except weekends. Weekends I get up a little bit later. And yesterday I'm up at 6, and by 7 o'clock I'm out on the road here, and I noticed that there was smoke in the sky, and I said, that's probably some small thing, they'll put it out. But as the day went on, it got worse and worse and worse, to the point where they canceled school, and the winds kicked in. It's the worst combination you can have: high winds and fire at the same time. Just horrible what's going on. People losing their homes. It's devastating. You see it, it's heartbreaking to see somebody who had a home, and then the only thing that's left is the chimney. That's very, very sad, very sad. So, right now, winds have died down a bit. I mean, it's a little bit breezy, but nothing like last night. I'm telling you, last night the trees were like side to side, and then we have a tree not too far from here up the street, and it's growing in this angle. It's not rotting, or it's not ready to fall or anything, but at that angle, how much wind does it take to knock it down? So every time when I drive by there, I look at it and I go, one day something's going to push this tree over. At some point when they realized it was going this way, they should have tied some rope and pulled it back to straighten it out. Now it's a huge tree. Now it's massive. It's probably 100 feet high, but it's growing in this angle. A little more weight and it'll fall over. So and I was driving earlier today in that area, and all the palms, the palm trees, hundreds of them all over the place. So like I said, losing your home like that, it's extremely tragic, very sad. So right now we've had a slowdown on the wind, but last night there were wind gusts of 90 miles per hour. And there's just not enough firefighters, and even if there were, there's just not enough. Even if you have 100 firefighters, you don't have enough equipment. What they need, and you couldn't do it last night, it was very windy, but you need massive aircraft that can get hundreds of thousands of gallons of water, and one after the other just keep flying over an area non-stop. Maybe you have 50 of these things. They fill up the ocean or lakes or whatever, probably the ocean, and they just keep dumping relentlessly, because without that, with a hose, it's hard. I was watching some of these guys, firefighters, and they had massive hoses aimed at these houses, and it was like the fire was saying, I don't care. It was just roaring, the water was evaporating. So it's like a war zone. That's exactly what it looks like. It looks like you got bombed from up above. Missiles fell and lit up the place. So we get through it, we move on, but it's very, very sad, very sad. So anyway, we're gonna make a little bit of steak, have a meal, make this for my daughter. She's inside, canceled school. It's online today. They're having school online, so I said I'd make you some steak. This is I don't know if you recognize that, but it's American Wagyu. You can tell by the marbling. Look at that. It's intense. Yeah, the alarm guy. Yeah, and the thing with these fires is that you have a house burning, the embers will be taken, they said, up to 3 miles away. And then they land in somebody's backyard where maybe there's some shrubs and those ignite, or they land on a roof or something, you know, that's very, very brittle, and boom, you have another fire. So, you know, I mean, you evacuate for your own safety, but at the same time, if no one's left behind, you don't have a chance. I mean, you know, at least if there was somebody, and you know, but you don't want to risk your life either. But if there was somebody left behind with a hose, every time they'd see a hot spot, they'd put it out on their property. But you know, even that, you need a lot of people. One person doing that, you know, you may be on one side of the house, but the other side, you know, ignites. And the hoses we have, you know, these garden hoses, they just don't have enough, you know, force of water to put that kind of a fire out. Maybe at the beginning you can put it out if you're there at that moment. So I was watching this older guy. He was talking about how he stayed up all night and his house caught on fire, but he happened to be there with the hose and he put it out. So he got lucky, and hopefully, you know, that's the end of it for him. It doesn't return and, you know, start again. But yeah, the embers, they fly through the air. You know, they were saying last night on the news they can go, I was going to say hundreds of feet, but they actually said 3 miles. 3 miles. I don't know how that thing stays lit for 3 miles. Just so, anyway, that's what's happening here. And the sky is very, very smoky, but this morning it was much worse. Right now I think the winds have shifted a little bit, so we're getting a little bit cleaner air. But this morning when I got up, 6 o'clock, it was dark out here, but you could see it had a cover. It looked like fog initially, but then as the sun was coming up, you could see that it was smoke. So that's it. That's life on this planet. You know, they say, oh, it's a friendly planet for life. Not really. Not really. I mean, you have diseases. There's so many things out there to kill you, and then you have natural disasters. Every day, every single day, every minute, there's some tragedy somewhere on this planet. You know, it will not leave you alone. So, but that's life, you know, that's life. It's the only life there is for us. Alright, well, that's it for now. I'm going to cook the steak, and that's it. That's it.